So, one thing that's absolutely critical that you need to know when you're working on losing weight, losing body fat, whether you're maintaining weight or you're working on building muscle mass, is how your body uses energy and the energy systems in which your body uses. So, just to give you a little breakdown of how your body uses energy, your body has three primary metabolic energy systems that it uses to perform work and get you moving. Your body will use the appropriate energy system and change systems according to the duration and intensity of your activity. So, your three metabolic energy systems are the phosphagen system, the glycolytic system, and then your aerobic system. And we're going to give you a little breakdown of what these systems are and how they use energy. So the phosphagen system is what we're going to refer to as your explosive energy system. It does not require the presence of oxygen to produce ATP or adenosine triphosphate for energy. The power and length of this energy system is that it's a very high power energy system that ATP delivers, but it's for a very brief duration. So what it needs to fuel this energy is creatine phosphate, which you may have heard of before, which is stored in your skeletal muscle, and ATP. The length of use for the phosphagen system are very short bursts of explosive exercise, up to 10 to 15 seconds, so very short, as you can see. Some sources also say that it can be used up to 30 seconds, but the explosiveness and the delivery of that is really going to diminish further after the initial 10 to 15 seconds or beyond the initial 10 to 15 seconds. Some exercise examples of this are all-out sprints or max efforts that you would see in something like Olympic lifting or jumping, something like that. Then there's your glycolytic system, which is known as your anaerobic system. This system does not require the presence of oxygen to produce ATP for energy production. Now, the thing you need to know about the glycolytic system or your anaerobic system is that it delivers a moderate amount of power over a short duration of time, not as brief as the phosphagen system. It's a little longer. This is the in-between system between your phosphagen system and then your aerobic system. Source of energy for this one is going to be glucose in your bloodstream and glycogen stored in your muscle tissue and liver. And the length of use of the glycolytic system is usually between 30 seconds to 2 minutes. So you can see it's a little longer than the phosphagen system. And then you have your aerobic system, which is commonly used by people. It's probably the most commonly used system that you'll see with most people who are exercising, who are out riding a bike, running, taking a walk, things like that. These are your low power, long duration forms of exercise. This does require the presence of oxygen to produce ATP for energy. And the source of energy for the aerobic system comes from blood glucose, muscle and liver glycogen, adipose fat or fatty tissue, and intramuscular fat, so fat within your muscle tissue. In a way, the aerobic system is the most complex energy system because of the sources of energy that it draws from. It draws from a lot of different sources as opposed to the other two. The length of use for your aerobic system is pretty much anything above and beyond your glycolytic system. So we have from 3 to 60 minutes, or actually 2 to 60 minutes plus and longer than that. So you're talking about playing a basketball game, a hockey game, soccer, running a marathon, long distance cycling, jogging, rowing, hiking, dancing, walking, climbing, some of your most common physical activities. So just to give you a picture of what the energy systems working together might look like, you can take this example here. Say you start running on a hill at an all-out sprint. You'll only be able to maintain top speed or max speed or exertion for about 15 to 30 seconds. And that's when your phosphagen energy system is going to be engaged during that time frame. At around the 30-second mark, you're going to start to slow down and run, which will eventually slow to a jog. And that's when your glycolytic system will kick in. So you'll be able to run or jog at a decently high intensity for that period of time that you're using the glycolytic system. And then eventually your jog or run might slow to a walk, which then you would be using an aerobic system, or your very slow jog, so that you could keep going for longer than that initial, or that last 2 minutes rather, of the glycolytic system. So, how does this relate to you? And this is what's really important here. We need to make sure in this course and in this program that you can use these three energy systems appropriately during your workouts to maximize fat loss and weight loss so that you can achieve your optimal you. Having a little knowledge of how your body uses energy is absolutely essential for losing belly fat, losing weight, and optimizing your performance in your workouts or whatever activities you may be pursuing. Your workouts will incorporate all three energy systems. So the workouts that you're using in this program to work out with at home will incorporate a little bit of all the energy systems so that we can maximize calorie burn, fat loss, and building lean, fat-burning muscle tissue.